Hey, how y'all doing? It's your boy Deontay, also known as Big Sir, Transitional Director here in Tennessee for Timothy Hill. I wanted to speak on the healing at the pool. So Jesus walks up to this lame man who's been paralyzed for 38 years, right? He asks him a very interesting question to me. He said, do you want to be healed? Jesus knows all, right? But he gives this guy the opportunity to answer that question. I think it's important that we stop there and understand that some people really don't want to be healed. But it's important that we make that decision for ourselves. Do I want to be healed? Do I want to be different every single day, right? For 38 years, this guy has been in the same condition. And so we can look at him and say, of course he wants to be healed. He can't walk, right? But some of us have become spiritually and physically paralyzed to certain things in this world. Just to make it practical, we think of porn, we think of drug addiction, we think of alcohol. People abuse their wives abuse their husbands. I mean, the way we treat others, hatred, whatever it may be, we've become crippled, paralyzed to that. We've become a slave to those vices, right? And so Jesus is not only looking at this man who's not been able to walk for 38 years and saying, do you want to be healed? He's looking at us. And he's asking us, you've been enslaved to this addiction for years. Do you want to be healed? And so if we look at it that way, we understand that some people really don't want to be healed. And some people will say, no, I'm fine right where I'm at. It's interesting, I was leaving Harding one day, had some money on me, and I seen a guy sitting underneath a tree, had like a sheet over him, had little pots and pans next to him. I presume he was homeless. And so I pulled over, I go over to offer him some money to go buy him some food. He said, I don't want your money. I said, okay. I said, can I pray for you, brother? He said, I don't want your prayers. I don't know why, right? But I got back in my car. Now I'm driving away, and what came to me was, man, some people really don't want to be helped, right? They really don't. And so it's important that we make that decision every single day, and I think that's just what Jesus is doing. He's allowing him to make that decision. We work with young men and young women with Timothy Hill, and I'll tell you now, if they don't want to be helped, then all of your speeches, all of your talking, everything becomes worthless until they get to that point and say, I really need your help. I need your help. I understand that my circumstances led me here. The things I've struggled with led me here. I want to be changed. I want to be different. That's when we really start seeing changes occur. That don't mean you stop loving or stop leading or stop pouring into them. But it's going to take them to make that decision and say, hey, let's try something different. I want to be helped. So it's important that Jesus asks that question. It's important that he answers, yes, I do. But I want you to remember what he says. He says, I've been trying to get into that pool, but every time I get there, someone goes in before me. So that makes me think, so in the same way that Jesus came up to him and asked him, did he want to be helped? He responded, yes. But no one's helped him get into that pool for 38 years. I want you to think about how many religious people would have been around that same area. Did no one ask the question? Why has it taken 38 years for someone to approach this man and ask him, do you want to get in that pool? Do you need help getting to that pool? Do you want to be healed? See, I think as believers, it's important for us to take that step. And that step is uncomfortable. It really is sometimes, especially when we're dealing with people that we know, right? I know my brothers or my sisters may be struggling in addiction, so I'm almost afraid to address them on that. But it's important that we do. And maybe they're not ready to receive that at that time, but you've planted a seed that someone else will come and plant another seed, and God will get his growth. We keep loving. Love never fails. It never fails. It never does. It may take years. It may take 38 years, but it never fails. So keep loving, keep leading. Don't be afraid to ask that question. Do you want to be helped? Right? And even if they say no, that don't mean I stop loving them. But I may let them go around a little bit longer and I'm going to ask them again. Do you want to be helped? In prayers that one day they say, yes, I do. What happens next in that story is Jesus says, get up, take your mat and walk. That's crazy to me, right? For 38 years, I ain't been able to move. I ain't been able to walk. And you tell me just to stand up, right? How much faith you think I gotta have to really even try that? Seriously. Stand up and walk. Oh, it's that easy, right? But the word says that he got up, took his mat, and he walked. Imagine the freedom that he felt. For 38 years, I haven't been able to move. And you tell me to get up, take my mat, and walk. That's freedom. Wow. What's cool, though, is Jesus is offering that to us all. Whatever we may be struggling with during this time. He says, do you want to be healed? And if we say yes to that, if we say yes to him, he says, get up. Take your mat and walk. Be free. There may be someone listening to this that needs to get up. You've allowed slavery and bondage to consume your life for way too long. Addictions to these worldly vices to consume your life way too long. Jesus is saying, get up. Get up. That's freedom. But what we got to understand is, I always wonder, why did the Israelites yearn so much to go back to Egypt? Why do people want to go back? Why do I struggle sometimes wanting to go back to the old person I used to be, how I used to act? Why? Because that's what's comfortable to us. That's what we know. When Jesus says, go, be free, get up, take your mat and walk. Think about this guy's rest of the day, right? Or even a week from that point, or a month from that point. I was like, dang, what do I do now? I've been so used to this, to being paralyzed, and I move and I've become accustomed to that. Now I'm free and I don't have no idea what to do. That's why it's important that we're in our word, that we know what God wants us doing, that we live according to his will. Why? Because this freedom that he offers us, right? We don't know what to do with it. It becomes uncomfortable. People judge us. People mock us. They don't agree with it. So then, in order to fit back into the crowd, fit back into our norm, we go back to what we knew, even if it was slavery, even if it was bondage, even if it didn't feel good, we go right back to it. Why? Because that's what we know. That's what we know. I think about a young man that we deal with that get out of the system and fall right back into the same habits. Why? Because that's what they know. That's what they know. It's comfortable to them. And we ask them to do something uncomfortable. I ask you to get up, go to work every day, right? Build yourself, get a driver's license, get your diploma, build yourself, grow as a man. Let's do some devotionals, grow as a man. Like, work hard. We're going to get up every morning, we're going to work out, right? We're going to teach you some new skills, some new traits. We're going to get you a good job. We don't want you looking over your shoulder every time a police is around. Like, we're going to get you a good job. So you can take care of your family, so you can buy a house, so you can. That's so new, right? It's so different from what they see, what they know, what they're accustomed to. But there's a sense of fear, a sense of hesitation. It takes faith. It takes trust. It takes belief to take those steps, right? So it's important that we understand that as believers, as we seek to help people and lead people, right? So get up, pick up your mat, and walk. Walk in the freedom that God has granted you. Don't allow anything that's held bondage over your life to become your identity. You are a child of God. You are royalty. You are loved. You are his. He created you for a special purpose. And my prayer is that you find that purpose and that you find love with him. Thank you so much for listening. Y'all be blessed.